What is up, everyone? What is up? Happy Sunday. 'Tis the end of the weekend. We all suffer. It is what it is. What's everyone up to? Well, it's the JTAG kit from the Marauder board that we were playing with the other day. Still gotta do some more stuff. I got my new other LoRa device in. I already have my everyday one, which is the exact same as this, except in black. That's my Mesh-tastic. And as we discovered, the LilyGo stock antennas are not that great, so I have my own. And then speaking of antennas, I was playing with the Marauder board over here, and I noticed when I was setting it all up, the antenna that is the GPS antenna, you hear that? It's broken. So I had a new antenna come in, and hopefully this fits. And then with the craziness of the holidays this weekend, it's kind of chaos for some of my packages. So let's see. We've got a couple of antennas here. One, we have a Meshnology ISM band antenna, 915 megahertz. Same thing as the other guy is supposed to be rated for, but as we found in our testing a few weeks ago, the LilyGo antennas were an SWR of around like 3, 4, whereas these are an SWR around like 1.2, so magnitude's better. Plus, white antenna with a white case. I think that looks kind of nice, so we'll probably get this guy set up with a mesh core. Probably not tonight, because tonight's gaming on Linux night, but we'll at least have that for the near future, like tomorrow. And then we got some new antennas here that should be good for GPS. These are from Bingfu. What material antenna? It's just a whip antenna. So it's got like some kind of a vinyl sheath, probably just copper core. But the Meshnology antennas seem to be a pretty inexpensive antenna to work pretty well. So this is from Bingfu. This antenna over here. This... yeah, it looks like it'll fit. Yeah. That's a GPS antenna. And then we have our 433 megahertz antenna. And then we have our two 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi antennas. And my U console with the SDR add-on and everything should be here this week, I think. So that should be fun. So there we go. We've got our little Marauder so that we can do some little Wi-Fi attacks and Bluetooth attacks and sub-gigahertz stuff. So, yeah. This will be fun for DEF CON. And then I can plug that into also the Flipper Zero. And we can extend the Flipper Zero capabilities, apparently. I haven't played with the Flipper Zero side of it yet, but supposedly you can do quite a bit with it once you plug it into the GPIO and then flip the switch. So, there's that. Do you mind if I ask what degree you have? I'm interested in the IT cybersecurity field. I only have my associate's degree currently right now. I'm in the middle of going to get my bachelor's. I started in January. just because I was like, I might as well get this checkbox done, and I'm like 75% done. So I'll probably be done with my bachelor's end of year. I'm working on my bachelor's in cybersecurity right now. Again, it's a checkbox. I'm already a senior cybersecurity engineer, so. Are you excited for DEF CON? Yeah, I'm getting some toys together for it.
Height Armor 13 is now chilling in the lab.
Got my little, Marauder little guy over here for my flipper. I've got a second, LoRa device over here. This one's probably going to be used for mesh core. I have another device that I can use for reticulum and stuff downstairs. I don't know if I'm going to buy a third one of these, because I have, like, enough of them, but I'll see, what's out there, in terms of, reticulum versus, mesh core. And then, yeah, this was the original GPS antenna, so the original antenna is actually just a little bit longer. So, interesting. Yeah, well. But, yeah, so we got a properly working GPS antenna. Once I go outside and do what Arch users can't ever do, which is go outside and touch grass, I will see about the GPS satellites working. I realized that they weren't working well when I was outside, so that's part of the problem. But yeah, I'm trying to decide how I'm gonna do the reticulum stuff, because I do have like this guy over here, which is a nice device, but the battery kind of drains within a day. So I may just go with the LilyGo T Echo, the non-plus version. This is the plus version with like a big-ass beefy battery. The other one only has like an 850 milliamp battery and doesn't have the carabiner. But we'll figure it out. Oh yeah, and I have some funny t-shirts coming through. So this week we should have the Clockwork Pi U console coming in, so we should start being able to tinker with that. I'm going to try to get that set up for some radio work. But yeah. Well, thank you for the follows, guys. Thoughts on staying in quant industry as IT versus moving to another like healthcare 9-month non-compete? I mean, it's really hard to say what's the best opportunity for you in the long term. I mean, what's the best path? Because that also depends on the areas. Because like different parts of the country, yeah, but the non-compete's kind of some bullshit. I haven't had to do a non-compete in like years. I thought like the FTC ruled that they were illegal. I know there was some BS around that, so they may have like stayed that order, but I remember there's something around it. But anyway, just look at what your opportunities are long term, what you want to do. And when in IT and cybersecurity, here's the thing. In most cases, it doesn't matter if you're hopping between like different types of businesses. It may be like, oh yeah, you're in healthcare, you may know HIPAA a little bit more and be familiar with it, but to be fair, you're also dealing with HIPAA also in a lot of non-healthcare businesses too, so it's kind of one of those more known regulations. Now, if you talk about things like CCPA, if you talk about things like GDPR and all of that, you know, that can vary based on where you're at, but yeah. My point being, don't worry too much about, if I'm leaving healthcare or anything like that. Like, look, I've worked in aviation, I've worked in industrial equipment, like mining equipment, I've worked in, critical infrastructure, like different utility companies in the past. I've worked in, retail outlets. I've done MSP work where I've gone all over. I've worked in cryptocurrency companies doing their IT infrastructure. So I kind of go all over. That's an anti-cheat systems, bricking systems for cheaters. Yeah, it's very stupid that they do this shit. Look, I know, like, people will be like, well, cheaters shouldn't be cheating. I agree with you, but at the same time, it's one of those... You're opening a can of worms that there's going to be unintended consequences, and one day that's going to be blowing back on people who actually weren't doing anything wrong. Software is made by humans. Humans are fallible. Ipso facto, software can have mistakes. Is the Hack RF Mayhem a good investment? So when it comes to cybersecurity, pen testing tools and things like that, the question about if certain hardware is a good investment is a subjective one rather than an objective thing. It depends on what you're trying to pull out of it in terms of value. So, sorry. Like me, obviously, I'm a guy that does a lot of radio work. I have an amateur radio license. I'm general class in the United States. If you're not familiar with what that means, the lowest level is technician. A relatively easy test. Then you have the general level, which it's not difficult, but you're going to have to take some time to study. And then you have amateur extra, which is really, really difficult. Eventually I'll go for amateur extra. But basically, I have enough privileges to do some really fun things with radio, which is why I at least got the general class. Anyway, that's why I, do all kinds of things with radio. So I have like LoRa devices over here. We now have this little Marauder guy that does 433 megahertz GPS and Wi-Fi, in part to do war driving, and I'm seeing about doing Bluetooth war driving as well to be able to see what devices I pick up. So like maybe we can see about picking up smart glasses and flock cameras and map those out. We have my U console from Clockwork Pi will be here later this week, most likely, hopefully along with the Hacker Gadgets AIO V2, which has 7 different antennas that, I can sweep in tons of different data and also do LoRa through SX1262 chips that's on there, the same as this guy over here and most of my other Meshtastic devices. So, the point being, that makes sense for me because I do a lot of radio work. However, if you're just starting your journey out and you're like tinkering and you don't know what to do, it's not really worth investing in too much hardware until you get like a lot of the base concepts down. Virtual machines are really great with that. But unless you're like actually doing radio work, don't bother with SDRs, don't bother with, stuff like that. I still think it's great to learn radio. I think it is one of those, things that I say is a downright necessity if you're learning networking to understand how Wi-Fi operates in terms of, radio signal propagation and everything. But yeah. How do you start pen testing? Well, you just start poking at things. Now, as far as in a career, I'm not, professionally a pen tester. I'm just learning a bunch of skills myself so that I can start purple teaming some things. It's okay to use video guides for home lab projects for your resume. I mean, yeah, it can be. I mean, a lot of my content basically served as my resume, more or less. Yeah. What do you, and while we get chatting and everything, it is gaming on Linux night, so let me get Pragmata loaded up. I was in the middle of having it do an update. So let's do that. And then your questions. What do you think about AI security role in basically? What do you mean AI security role? That's a little bit broad. There's a lot of things when it comes to AI security. Kali v Parrot. Well, Kali's not really meant to be a daily driver. And Parrot actually not only in terms of the account, how it's set up, but also in terms of, like, it's got privacy hardenings and tools out the box. What do you think about jobs in cybersecurity in EU for junior? EU for junior? What do you mean by that? Maybe that was... I'm rereading that, or it was weirdly worded. Alright, let's see. Where were we? Oh. We still have 3... Oh, so we have 3 pures? Okay. Yeah, I need a update. Yeah. Need to go get some filament, or whatever the hell it is. Did you go to college? Yes, I went to college. I'm in the middle of going to get my bachelor's now, just to check the box, but I'm a senior engineer already as it is, so who knows, I may or may not need it. But I will at least have it done by end of year. Okay, so we have 1 more pure lunums. Is it true that to study cybersecurity or network you need to be good at math? I wouldn't say good at math, but you have to understand math. I mean, most of the time you're going to be using subnet calculators and stuff, but yeah.
My bad, Diana.
Ah, I knew it. Boss fight. It's a boss fight.
You again?
Looks like a backup from the vault.
God damn it.
We need to find them. Yay! Guns now! Get ready.
Shit. There we go.
Good job. What the heck's it trying to pull?
Get away!
This thing controls that filament now too?
Move, you!
So take this!
Boom. God damn it. Oh, come on.
Move, you!
God damn it.
Yeah! Watch out! Look out!
Shit. I'm not trying to ignore chat. It's just really intense. Hold on.
Take this! That's what I'm talking about!
There we go. Ah! Okay. Ooh. The game is Pragmata, for those that were asking. Oh, I forgot we had the code generator.
So this is the Luna Filament Lab.
Okay. Okay, so we got some info around here. It's 10 days, okay.
Looks like Higgins had been out of contact for a while.
I don't think he liked getting involved with others.
We got an upgrade component. We got some pure lunum. And what was this?
Advanced research lab in the entire cradle.
Can't help with Zabbix.
Right in that room.
Man, I haven't used Zabbix in a few years. I've moved away from it into using like things like Prometheus and other systems. Alright. Got my tea at least steeped. Okay, so where do we need to go to now? TikTok does have stream keys. You just have to work with a live agency. Yep. There are requirements depending on the agency you go with, but I think, what is it, like I need to stream at least like 10 or 15 hours per month, which I'd knock out easily.
That's awful.
But yeah, there's like live agencies, like the one I'm with is Atomic. It doesn't cost me anything. They don't take any of my earnings. It's just a weird thing that like they have. The other thing you can also do is apparently you can use Stream Elements, and Stream Elements has the plugin that you can just request to go live through that, and it's not really a stream key, but OBS will work through that. How are you streaming on Linux? I'm using OBS.
Doctor? His mental acuity is...
While it is running on the Windows machine, because I'm using a 2-PC setup and I had a spare computer there that happened to be Windows, this setup could run on Linux. The only reason it's not is there's some streaming capture hardware and things that I don't have really set up fully for Linux yet. And it's not on my priority list to really go down. Because the honest truth is, I'm always going to have at least 1 or 2 machines that are going to be running Windows, because I'm always going to need test machines. Have you worked with Zabbix? Yes, I have. And I decommissioned it at my work a couple of years ago. Well, at my last job. I haven't used it in a few years.
That filament.
Primarily because Zabbix, while it made sense when we were on-prem more, once we moved to the cloud, we could set up all the alerting and notifications and all that through AWS. It's fine to game on Fedora.
Dad?
No issues with it.
Now he left his work to 8.
You're better, sweet baby! Hey, more upgrade components.
I don't think we'll be able to talk her down from this. Better start preparing for the West.
You?
No worries.
There! That's our way into the orbital elevator.
All right, let's go.
I'm coming to stop you,
Alright. Did you ever make a video on TikTok's location tracking terms of service? Why? Because it's the same thing as every other social media thing was doing before TikTok even existed.
for a while, right?
It's not that it sucks more than Facebook, it's that they all suck just as much. The only reason people freaked out about TikTok was, well, it was someone other than America doing it. Yeah. Red Hat certified? No, but I am certifiable. Let me see. Thrusters. I feel like we need to go get more limb.
New training sim data has arrived. Be sure to give it a try.
How significantly 6 months internship can help break into cybersecurity? It can't hurt, but I mean, it's only like 6 months and it's an internship, so at most, you know, like it'll get you some insight into how businesses actually think about things, so. What is this? Complete within 190 seconds. Okay. What's your favorite distro? And do you have any distro? What was the pure game aspect that drew to Pop OS? Was it? I just liked how they basically set it up to be so I'm a former Mac user and I actually kind of like the Mac UI. I just didn't like what Mac was doing to enshittify it. So I like what Pop OS kind of was doing all around. Okay, cool. So now we're in the main lab. Kind of cybersecurity work. I mostly do endpoint engineering these days, but I also help them with CI/CD and the DevSecOps side of things because we're building that out. Kind of a multifaceted person. Okay. I see it's leading me down a different way. And I see there's a cabin coin. I heard it around there somewhere.
That's a lot of lip.
Ha! Told ya! What is that? Yeah, it's a shockwave gun. Endpoint engineering like CrowdStrike? Yep. I'm the CrowdStrike SME amongst other things where I work. I have a feeling there's something that's gonna pop out when I jump down. Nope. Okay. This is Pragmata.
Right on.
We need to punch them.
Get bombed.
Getting close. That's Sonoma. Splitting the hatch.
Yeah. Let's do this.
Incoming. Stasis mine. Incoming. Crap. Watch out for that stuff.
God damn it.
Wait up. Wait up.
Okay, so that area, I don't need a red key. I thought I needed a red key, but it turns out it was just locked to the people there. Or the robots. They're not people.
I'll get rid of it.
Oh, shit.
Take my Look out! Yeah! Getting up backwards to the earth! I'll punch it!
Back off.
Which study cybersecurity should I take in IT or CS? Either one. Degree is just a checkbox. Doesn't really determine all that much if you're gonna go one way or another.
Incoming!
I mean, let's remember, I don't have a degree right now at all in this stuff. Wait, there's a cube up there. Okay, they're not back there, so... Okay, so they're just kind of flying blind.
I got this. Projectile incoming! That walker's gonna burst!
Okay, I see. Oh!
Be careful! Cyber, clean up!
Sean, take this!
Okay, where the hell is that robot?
Incoming!
I see it.
Getting close! Projectile incoming!
90%?
Hurry, Hugh!
I'm on it.
There we go. Alright, now let's clean these up. Get some more limb. What Linux distro do I use? It should say right there on the description that I'm using Pop OS. Upgrade my internet, I can finally watch you in 1080p again instead of 260p. Yeah? Alright, so what do we have here?
Good job, Daniel. Now it's my turn.
Stop right there!
Step off.
Shoot it where it's weak, Hugh! Jump, Hugh!
Okay. Who's next? I see the security's still up.
Like they're floating up! Look out! Getting close! Shoot now!
this!
There we go. This is Pragmata. Using 2204, isn't it too old? No, 2204 is still supported, but Pop OS 2604 is being released what? This month or so? Alright, let's see. Go up the stairs. Get some homing missiles. Oh, mother.
Arms incoming!
This is some BS!
Give me a sec. Get ready. That walker's gonna burn! Punch it! Yeah! There's a sword!
I'll take care of it. Cleanse it for me, will ya? This is some BS! I'll take care of it. Cleanse it for me, will ya?
Come on.
What's with the rubber arm? I'll take care of it. All right. One more down.
Keep it up.
How you like this?
Arms incoming.
This is some BS.
God damn.
There's a sword.
I'll take care of it.
There we go.
I'm detecting a mod. Gotta get him off, right? Let's go grab it.
Well,
Wait, where's the mod?
how can I resist?
Okay, so it's somewhere up there. It's like I need to get up there somehow.
My bad, Diana.
Alright. riddle me the single Ethernet connection from the DNS server to switch to router. Website looks less than ideal. However, as soon as the switch to router got 2 ports in LACP, websites load within milliseconds. Do you have a bad port, maybe? That's kind of weird. It shouldn't be loaded like that. There we go. Alright, so let's see what we got going up this way. Yep. There we go. I knew there was some way to get around there. I have a question regarding CompTIA. Do people in IT see CERT as a joke? Not as a joke.
Great when synced with your suit's durability.
It's not really that we see it as a joke. It's that we don't really see, in many cases, the value from a lot of it. But it's just a checkbox at most. As an IT student, what programming foundation should I have? Well, right now, in terms of programming, I mean, they don't really want you to go into the, what you call it, nuance of, you know, the tedium of, you know, actually generating code. They kind of want you to know AI to do a lot of that stuff now. But with that being said, you should understand the basics of what code is and, you know, functions, variables, how libraries work, things like that. Just at least the base concepts and the fundamentals. Like, so that way you can at least understand what code it's putting out, rather than, oh, well, it looks like it's doing the right thing.
It's trying to send death thoughts.
So what certs your recommend?
Do you really think that's...
I don't think that people should really be thinking as certs as foundational knowledge. Certs are just checkboxes for HR. That's all they are. They don't really teach you anything along the way. They're a validation of, at best, of the knowledge that you've learned.
Wouldn't want all this.
And this is coming from a guy that the first cert I got was the CISSP, and that was almost 10 or so years after I've been in the field. So, yeah, most of my knowledge came from home labbing and stuff. Okay.
Can't forget you.
There we go. Oh. I just got the achievement of escape artist, so now I officially have every single escape hatch, which means we're probably really close to the end of the game. So I regret playing the hard hacked box. Regret how?
Tell me when it's go time, okay? Hugh,
Hey,
But still, I don't feel like 8 does. Is that because I'm not as good as she is?
what? That's not it. You're just wired different. And in my eyes, I'm glad you're the way you are. So, let's move on, okay?
Alright, let's see. We've got 9 coins. Okay, so let's see. Homing missiles. Thrusters. Okay, so we use the charge piercer and the photon laser, but then... More lock on targets, more damage. Split the diff. Alright, let's see. Stasis net. Hit me with puns anymore, I already won. Let's see, which way do we want to bingo? Bingo, bango, bongo. Blackout, okay.
Oh, you have quite the eye organ.
Alright, so let's get our weapons here set up. And then we need a multi-hack. And we'll get a drain. Alright, let's see about getting just one more run so we can get more limb. I can at least get one more upgrade, because I feel like we're right around from the final boss battle.
My bad, Diana.
We need to fund them. Overgrowth protocol activate.
Nope!
That water's gonna burst! Charging flint! Cleansing!
Get off!
Be careful! Blinking the enemy!
Yeah!
Ew!
Didn't know that he could do that.
Wow! Amazing!
I got him! Danger time! Incoming! Phew!
Take this!
That water's gonna burst! I'll press it! Move, you! Yay!
To the Viper! Got it?
There we go. Got a data shard for her. This is Pragmata. Yeah, it's a pretty great game.
Take this!
Projectiles incoming! Splitting the hatch!
Guess that's that.
All right, now. Okay, that's good to know that it doesn't move in a 3D environment like I was thinking it would.
Is that it?
Oh,
What do we have here?
I thought so. I was like, that looked a little sus.
Overgrowth protocol activate. Let's finish this! I got him!
Guess that's that.
Wow! More limbs!
There we go. Oh, this game is Pragmata. Does it not say it in the title?
There!
Think AI can replace human in cybersecurity? No. I think it'll alter and augment some ways that we do things, but humans will ultimately still be in cybersecurity for the foreseeable future. Did we not redo any of these fight areas, I guess? Frickin' invisible wall. Yeah, we're going to just not think of... Alright, let's see. Which way do we need to go? We need to go around here. Alright. That should be enough. Want to create a DevOps lab, got 2 Raspberry Pi PC. Any good ideas for a Git? You can build whatever you want. I mean, you can look at my Git and see the projects that I've done to, you know, build a whole bunch of different DevOps stuff to get some ideas. Alright, what are we looking at? Okay.
What's that?
Alright, so let's see. Any others that I'm missing? Alrighty then. I guess it's time. I guess we're getting close to the boss. We're gonna see the end, I think, this stream. We've been playing this game for like what? 5, 6 different streams?
I'm going.
We're coming, 8.
Which LLM can write a 0-day? Any of them that can reason against it.
So how's the packing coming?
It's not about an LLM, it's about how you use it more so.
You? The shipment for Earth is almost ready. I have nearly fulfilled my purpose. A purpose we were meant to share. No! I decide my own way. And I'm going to Earth with you. You still don't understand. You are Pragmata.
Starting a presidential break fix IT repair opinion.
So what?
I don't know if I would really recommend anyone go into that, having come from there. There's just not much money in it. Like, really.
Something for you to use?
The majority of the time you're going to be doing things, you're actually going to be like, hey, look, I could repair this, but honestly, the money's better spent towards new hardware. The problem is, computers for consumers, they're a commodity now. If you want to make money in IT, you have to do MSP for business. There's really not much money in break-fix IT. And when they do, they generally don't think of the neighborhood IT guy. They're thinking of Geek Squad and those bigger companies, unfortunately. Plus, there's just something... Oh yeah, it's bleak. Plus, there's a whole different issue when you're dealing with residential customers versus business customers. So if you want to make money in IT providing services, you do IT services for business as a managed service provider.
You and I would never just say,
You're wrong, Pete!
your very existence is wrong. Should always seem wrong. This is what the doctor wanted. Why don't you see that?
You got it all wrong! Be careful! Look out! Watch out! Get the limit! Go! Wait! Be careful! Getting close!
Seriously, no attacks. The world must be a blazing house.
Stop! You'll hurt innocent people! Shoot now! That's the limit! Go! Wait! Be careful! I'll cleanse it!
This is what the doctor wanted.
God damn it.
You have to?
Further strengthen that time. I've seen it.
Move, you! Watch out! That's the limit! Go! Wait! Defensive Earth Dash.
The world must be a blazing house.
Stop! You'll hurt innocent people! I'm still on cooldown.
I will fight you apart.
Get ready.
God damn it. Mistimed that.
Charging cleanse. You! Watch out!
shit. Mistimed that.
Be careful.
Damn, not again.
Hold on, Hugh. I'll see what I can do. It's kind of wrong.
For some reason, it got stuck.
Hugh, watch out! Death filament, go! Wait!
This is what the doctor wanted. Why don't you see that?
You've gotten them all wrong!
Your bullets bounce right off.
Getting close! Incoming!
I'm probably gonna get boned on this one. Because I got the timing all wrong.
Time for a cleanup!
The world must be a crazy.
Stop! You'll hurt innocent people!
I owe you.
Futile attack.
Hugh, now!
Is that it?
There we go. Yeah, I'm using Steam.
Hugh, now! Be careful!
Your bullets bounce right off.
Final effort. Take that.
Alright, last charge.
I'm still in cooldown!
The world must be a crazy.
Stop! You'll hurt innocent people!
This is the end. I will erase you from existence.
No more second guessing. Just do it.
Counterhack bypass!
I am the only one who understands your plan.
Hugh, watch out! I will stop her! Look out!
Good job, man.
Final effort. Why won't you understand?
Counterhack bypass! Be careful! Linking the enemy!
I am the one who carries his memory and his final breath.
Get ready! Death filament, go! Wait!
Shit.
Counterhack bypass! Phew!
crap!
Shit!
Getting close. Give me a sec. That's the limit. Go. Wait. You now.
Check. Take this!
Shit! I knew I was like one hit away.
You.
Any money in phone repair? That's a volume business.
What should we do?
Let's see what my mods are like. Okay, so decode, freeze, expose, and then the mods. Okay, so the mods, weapons charge 30% faster, increases hacking range. When aiming your weapon with, okay. Moves timing, reduces damage received by 20 seconds after. Hardware specs are you running, and what are you using to capture OBS? Yeah, I'm using OBS. There's a second PC over here. Twitch has all the specs, but the main machine's a Ryzen 5950X. There's an NVIDIA 5070 Ti and 64 gigs of RAM.
Keep your cool, Diana. Don't let her get in your head.
Don't worry. I think I'm figuring her attacks out.
You still haven't learned.
We'll stop you no matter what. Be careful!
The boy must do according.
Stop! Don't hurt innocent people! Get ready! Charging flank!
How about this?
What the hell? Sometimes the keys, for some reason, don't respond for certain actions. Yeah, like right now, it was just doing a thing where I was touching the keys and they weren't responding. And that's part of why I was having issues. And I know it's not the keyboard.
You've gotten him all wrong! That's the limit! Go! Wait!
I don't understand.
Hold on, Hugh! I'll see what I can do! I'm stuck! Getting close!
I want to understand.
Wait till I recharge! Hugh, now! I'll close it!
This is what the doctor wanted. I have to see that.
You got it in all wrong! Overdrive protocol activated.
Take this!
Boom!
I owe you.
Alright. What, are you gonna blast me again?
Now your fate is sealed. I just have to the top of your existence. Your friend is a known quantity.
You can think what you want, but we will beat you!
I am the one Rants has never and his final death.
You now!
Is that it?
Look out! That filament! Go! Wait!
I am the only one who understands this thing.
Using that crap!
Getting close!
God damn it.
I don't understand. I am the one Rants has never and his final death.
Hack bypass!
Now's our chance.
Temporary.
There we go. Boom!
You should turn this back well.
Staying with you made me stronger! I am Diana!
Kinda looks like Frieza. In a way. Now this is Pragmata.
8! Tell them all. The earth must know this pain.
So where do they get the network pluses to go for CCNA? Is it a requirement for the job and the titles that you're looking at? Or are you just getting the cert to get the cert?
Transport's at the top of the tower. Diana, we gotta go.
So I guess this is the end of the game? Okay. She turns into some dead filament. I see.
Diana.
We're on the transport up. That's a big-ass gun.
I can save her, but at least we got to talk.
I'm sorry. I know it's hard, but we can't slow down. There should be a transport for us at the top.
And go to Earth?
Yeah. But time's not on our side.
You?
We'll be alright. Just think about what you're gonna do once we're back on Earth.
What I'm gonna do?
We gotta see the ocean, right? Or you wanna do some bird watching?
I want to do both.
That's the spirit.
What's your crazy story in Cyber? In a past job, I actually was working with some Russian oligarchs.
You?
We realized that when we were looking at the Bitcoin address some of us got paid at, and it was 2 hops away from the Kremlin, and then there was just like all these different things that finally clicked.
Look! The dead filament is back! But without 8?
It's out of control. We can't leave it like this. It can follow us to Earth.
Hey look, it's the big ass gun.
Look, Diana, I was a lot like you. A thirst for life and all its mysteries. And boy, I had a few bumps along the way. But I had someone looking out for me. And now it's your turn. A whole new life. If you're ready.
Okay, then let's go. Together.
Oh, what? He can fly!
If it catches us, we're done for. So enough BS. Let's finish this.
Maybe this cannon will do the trick. I'll charge it up, Q. You get ready to shoot.
We ready yet?
No, a little more to go. Ready, shoot!
Yes, go. Yes!
This is running! Stop, Q!
This is insane!
That was a close one!
How fucking tall is this tower?
Here it comes! I'm charging! Now, shoot!
This.
Wow, nice shot!
Hey, to the game devs, you know how many miles up we would be? This is no longer a tower, this is a space elevator.
shuttle!
Let me try something. Optimizing hacking matrix. Initiate! I did it, Hugh!
We ain't done yet! Hang on! Damn! Shuttle! No! Maybe this will work.
Make the gun bigger.
Not like this!
Pragmata.
Here we go! That should do it. Diane?
No, no.
You still with us?
Yeah. Just put a bit too much into it there. But I'm fine now.
There's still more? Jeez. Thought the game would be over now.
Hugh, are you okay?
Don't worry. I made a promise, right? Better yet.
Oh, he's limping.
Back on Earth, you can walk for yourself.
Hey, I can walk.
You sure?
I do it all the time. Here, look. I'm walking perfectly fine.
You'll be back on me in no time.
That's not true.
Can't rely on me forever, you know. I'll do whatever it takes to get you back to Earth. No matter what.
Or Hugh.
Hugh, there's a cargo ship.
Really?
Can we go to Earth in that?
Yeah. Might just pull this off. Diana,
What, Hugh?
thanks.
No problem. Is this how we're going to Earth?
A cargo shuttle. It is what it is.
Oh no.
Tight fit, but it'll do.
What about you?
Explosions messed everything up. Full automation's not an option. Gotta push it to the end of the rail. Hang tight.
He's gonna send her off on her own, isn't he? Oh, there's multiple endings.
Hugh? Is everything alright?
Yeah. It's a heavy bugger.
I want to help.
Stay put. It's too risky.
Let me hack it.
No need. Just gotta give it a bit of the old elbow grease.
Aww.
Hugh?
Time to bring it in.
I'm guessing that was his power cell?
Hugh?
Bad news. This is where we say goodbye. Sorry, Squirt.
No! I want to stay with you!
It's okay. Gonna be okay. Go find this thing.
No! Wait!
Have a safe journey,
Oh yeah,
kiddo.
life's pretty chill. You know, I think they should have done the, Cowboy Bebop. See you later, Space Cowboy.
Do you remember the reason that we walked along? The place that you promised me you'd take me one day. The place
Oh, there's more scenes? Was the game worth the hours? Yeah, I think it was. And on the emotion level, it's a few steps lower than when we lost Dom in Gears of War. But it's still good. I'm serious, out of all the games that'll ever jerk a tear, I think Gears of War was the worst. Well, it's not this serious. You never grew up then with the entire Gears of War and falling in love with Dom, and then he dies in the third one. I mean, the Coal Train survives, but... You wish you could forget Skyrim and replay it? If you like Skyrim, Try Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. It's the original one. It's a completely different way that they approach the game, because it's like the original, like kind of like Dungeons and Dragon approach. All right. Well, we finished the story on that game. The jackhammer is now unlocked. Oh, so I guess you have more options now. Wait, why does it say you can't select this without completed save data? But then yet... have I played Cyberpunk? Yes, I have. Have I played Nier Automata? I think... No, I don't have that one yet. That is in my to-do. But the issue is, I have so many games I need to still clear out. Because we still have... Oh, wait, I do have Nier in here. Yeah, I do have Nier. So I do have Nier Automata. Like, I have a ton of games over here that we still need to, like, complete. Cyberpunk is installed here. Haven't played that in, like, a few years. Got all the Elder Scrolls here. I mean, I even have Elder Scrolls Arena. And I don't have Daggerfall, do I? No, just Arena. Wait, no. No, I don't. New games take forever to fully complete with the amount of possible endings. Really? Yeah, so I have a lot of games that we'll definitely be playing. And then we, of course, have the time suck for my life that was Warframe. I know my 300 and some odd hours in there seems puny to some people that have like 4,000 or 5,000 hours. Pragmata only has 2 endings. Yeah. Here's a game that I really like, Dark Sector, but for some reason it glitched out. It was really great on Xbox. This was like the same studio that made Warframe. But we definitely have to make a point to do Elder Scrolls Morrowind. I still haven't done Elden Ring. Fable would be fun to replay. Still haven't finished Fallout. Do you think the military is a good gateway to tech industry, even if I do not get a tech job? I mean, I know a few people that do it, but I also know a lot of people that don't. And this is another game. We'll eventually be playing Forza. It does work on Linux, however, there's a bug with NVIDIA 595 drivers we found out, so it's an NVIDIA issue right now that's keeping me from doing the thing. But, yeah. What's my OS choice of work? Choice for work? It is, well,
Kick ass. I can save money now and then. One can eat, get money in the daytime, even count it when I sleep. Wake up and getting bread, bitch. I do this for the streets. ADHD.
Carson Wu just subscribed.
Thank you for that sub there, Carson. Appreciate you. Happy hacking, bud. My favorite OS of choice for work, I mean, basically I'm using Linuxes. Which one depends on what we're doing. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty flexible. What was your favorite game growing up? Tribes 2. Tribes 2, by far. Yeah, Pop OS 2604 is supposed to release towards the end of the month. From Cali, big fan of your work and content. Appreciate you. Happy hacking, bud. Worth investing in blue light glasses. Yes, but I'll let you in on a trick. All my glasses have blue light filtering. If you get your glasses through Costco, all you have to do is ask them, and they'll add it for free. So, there's your hack. A lot of eyeglass shops, for some reason, will charge you for it. Costco will do a lot of the stuff in glasses for free. It's worth getting Costco membership for a lot of stuff. Alright, well, let's at least, since we did finish the game, I can at least check out some of the things we had planned for next week in terms of the content to view and all that. Okay, so we saw... here we are. Alright. I wonder if you can bring your own frames to Costco. Sometimes you can. It depends. Feel about building a PC right now with prices so hard, just chill or buy now. I mean, if you need it, you need it, but I bought all of my stuff right before Ramageddon, and everyone thought I was crazy because I have a Micro Center credit card, and I have 0% financing with them if you pay it off in 6, 12, 18, or 24 months, depending on the amount that you buy at one time. So I did that with the GPU and RAM for a bunch of my projects and everything. Bought all of that stuff back in November, December, and then I've been sitting relatively pretty since. So I mean, if you need it, go buy it. If you can wait, then just hold off. But yeah. So let's see, the car market is in serious trouble. Here's why. This is from 2-Bit Da Vinci.
This might be the most important industrial story of the next decade. It has everything to do with cars and nothing to do with gasoline. And almost no one in America is talking about it. So I brought in my friend Elliot, who has been living in China for the past 18 years. You might have seen him on Everything Electric and Fully Charged. And now he's going to work with us to tell the story of how the Chinese EV revolution that's quietly happening is going to mean huge changes around the world. So Elliot, take it away.
This is a Chinese EV, and this will spell the end of the big three in Detroit. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. But is this a foregone conclusion, or is there a way for the US automakers to fight back? My name is Elliot Richards, and this is 2-Bit Da Vinci.
This video is brought to you by Anchor Solix.
The Ford CEO drives a Chinese car. Jim Farley...
You've heard me talk about this a lot. The Ford CEO drives a Xiaomi SU7, and he's been on record saying that the Chinese are extremely far ahead of US auto companies, and the only reason they're banning Chinese cars in the US is because the US cars are such crap compared to the Chinese cars in terms of cost and value and capability, that if China's cars were starting to be sold in America, they'd probably wipe out most of the American businesses. So, I mean, that's the problem that I've been telling people for many years, is I don't agree with the whole idea of like, oh, we'll put sanctions on another country and then we won't trade with them, because in the United States for the past, 10, 15, 20 or so years has had this attitude of just completely ignoring what's going on in China. So when the US companies are competing, they're not competing against China. They're competing against everyone else in the world except China, whereas China is competing with the rest of the world, including the USA and the countries that aren't even paying attention to them. And as we've discussed, competition brings out the best in everyone. You get the best products, the best results, and everything. So that's why the Chinese are succeeding, because they're directly competing against the USA, and the USA's response to be able to compete is to stop the ability for China to compete at all. But that is such a short-sighted approach because the entire world is not the USA. So, yeah, China's been doing business with the rest of the world.
The man leading one of America's most iconic automakers used a Xiaomi SU7 as his daily driver for half a year. A Chinese-made electric vehicle with a 345-mile range.
And consider cybersecurity knowledge for who you're voting for. In a way, yeah. That's why I still rag on Hillary Clinton and the whole email server fiasco. Right now, the lobbies want to pass a bill that won't allow you to get your telematics. Yeah.
That cost about $30,000. From a manufacturer that, until 2024, was best known for making smartphones. And after driving it, he went public. He called BYD, China's biggest automaker, the best in the business. Ford has reportedly even been in talks with Geely about producing cars in the United States. That's not something you'd have heard from a Detroit CEO 2 years ago. If you walked around the Beijing or Shanghai Auto Show today, the expression on the executive's face is one of shock and confusion. How has this happened? How do we fix this? Something has shifted. And if you're American, or if you care about what the auto industry looks like in 10 years, you need to understand exactly what this shift is and what it means for you.
Well, yeah, because the problem is the American auto business was based on the whole fossil fuel, internal combustion engine. But now that we're moving on new technologies, other countries have the advantage to start, starting from square zero and an equal playing field as the USA and everyone else.
Because the story of Chinese automakers isn't really about cars. It's about one of the fastest industrial transformations in modern history. And the United States, for now, is watching it happen from behind a wall of tariffs, hoping that the wall holds.
That's basically what I was saying, is that the United States' approach to competing against Chinese technological supremacy and capabilities is just sticking our head in the sand and then hoping that by charging them more, that we're somehow going to compete. Because somehow American tariffs stop China from being able to get in the markets of the other 200 or some odd other countries in the world. The problem with America in terms of a lot of our economic policies and a lot of the attitudes in terms of how a lot of Americans think is they have a very Amerocentric attitude. What I mean by that is most Americans seriously only care about America. And you might be like, well, of course, they're American. No, I mean to the point of the average American barely hears F all about what happens around the world outside of America. Whereas the average person outside of America hears more about America than Americans do about other countries. I lived overseas. I saw their news programs. They inordinately covered the United States news more than we cover international news. And that's also why a lot of Europeans and Americans too, have a very warped and skewed idea of what Americans and foreigners outside of America look like, respectively. So, yeah. You an anarchist? No, I'm more of a nihilist.
Let's talk about whether it will. Let's start with the scale of what we're talking about. In 2025, China sold 34.4 million vehicles. The United States sold 16.7 million. China's domestic market alone is more than twice the size of America's. On the electric side, it's growing 9 times faster.
And what's amazing is I learned something about in some Chinese cities, there's a lottery to see who can drive on the roads. I could be mistaken about that, but that was something that I learned that's kind of interesting. Americans trying to use Canada flags hoping to get better treatment abroad really shows you the entitlement. No! I don't use the Canada flag hoping to get better treatment. I use the Canadian flag because I'm embarrassed sometimes to be associated with American tourists around me. Seriously. You know what I'm talking about. I like, there are some, I don't like going on tour groups or anything like that, but I find it offensive when I'm traveling and people call me American. Because usually when they are, they're kind of saying it for the reasons of those Americans.
And here's the number that matters the most. China now accounts for 35.6% of the entire global automotive market. More than 1 in 3 cars sold on the planet is sold in China.
Canadians are nice people. Yeah, until you piss them off enough that they then start telling you why the Geneva Convention list actually, was created, because they referred to it as the checklist. Seriously, go look up how many Geneva Convention violations came down to. The Canadians actually did that.
And Chinese automakers have turned that home market dominance into a global export machine. In 2025, China exported 8.3 million vehicles, a 30% jump in a single year, making it the world's largest vehicle exporter for the 3rd year in a row. To put that in context, Japan, which for decades was the dominant global auto exporter, has been surpassed. Germany is fading.
You play most games on Steam using Pop OS? Yeah.
Geely and Cherry now sit inside the top.
So anyone who says sites make terrible weapons hasn't watched a hockey match.
In the global top 20.
Or they don't fear the Reaper.
Compared to 5 Japanese. That's a first in automotive history. BYD specifically passed Ford in 2025 to rank 6th globally. Geely overtook Honda to take 8th. And it gets worse for legacy giants. The big 3, Ford, GM and Stellantis, have watched their combined global market share fall from roughly 21% in 2019 to under 16% in 2025.
Can we just say a good reason of that, though, is that their quality has just gone to shit? Like, I used to be a Jeep guy. Since Stellantis took over, I have steered people away from it.
That's almost a 6-point drop in 6 years. But the most striking part of the data is...
Headphones am I using? These are the Bear Dynamic DT990s.
Honda just took a $15.7 billion write-down, its first annual loss since 1977.
Jeez.
Honda's China sales fell 31% in a single year. Buick, a brand that in the 1930s...
Okay, here's an interesting thing, though. When they say, like, Honda's China sales fell. So... part of that, my understanding, is a cultural thing. Let me explain. So apparently, there is some animosity between the Chinese and Japanese because of some things that historically happened between the two people. I'm not going to get into specifics. Your live is not eligible for recommendation and restricted in search results because it contains unoriginal or reproduced content. Great, TikTok. Great. You are effing just wonderful. Unoriginal or reproduced content. What the hell? Anyway. So... my understanding is, when it comes to the Japanese and Chinese, there's animosity. So if you understand the history of World War II, Japan was an empirical nation, and they did F with the Chinese extremely bad. To the point, there is literally an event known as the R-word of Nanking, okay? It's really effed up. Well, anyway, even though a lot of these events have happened decades ago, and I mean, to the point that a lot of the people today weren't even alive when the events happened, there is still very much times where apparently the Chinese start, hating on anything Japanese, whether you want to call that a scapegoat or whatever else, that's up to you, depending on the situation. But there is a cultural thing. So when there seems to be, like, if there's a Japanese version of that product, they will try to move away from that sooner than anything else. It feels like because they just are like, F the Japanese. That's kind of their sentiment on things. It goes both ways, no? Not really. No, not to the level. Let me put it this way. From what I've been able to gather, the Chinese have way more animosity to the Japanese than the Japanese have animosity towards the Chinese. I've heard complaints from some of the Japanese when it comes to Chinese tourists, but that's not unique to Japanese people complaining about some of the Chinese tourists in the same way, just to make this very clear, like how people complain about American tourists. Okay? You know, everyone has their bad apples in every society. But the point being, this does not surprise me, Honda being a Japanese company, that China would hit Honda the hardest. Because if they have the choice, it's not like the same thing as like, hey, an American brand and a Chinese brand, they may prefer the Chinese brand because, you know, the same reason as Americans would prefer Americans. Whereas there's a lot of situations where I've read that Chinese people will intentionally go out of their way to avoid the Japanese. And this is like to give you an example, this is very similar to the American mentality post 9/11 towards Muslim communities and countries and people. And we're still getting away from a lot of that sentiment post 9/11 because we still know that there's some of that like Islamophobia and stuff.
Sold more cars in China than any other, is down 65% from its 2020 peak. Chevrolet sold over 640,000 cars in China in 2018. By 2024, that had collapsed to 52,000, a 92% drop.
Okay, to be fair, American cars are absolute shit overseas. They are. They are very inefficient, even when you look at the European versions of those same cars.
Mitsubishi sold its Changsha plant to
down 92%, yeah.
yuan. That's
wait, what?
About 14 cents. Hyundai sold its Chongqing plant for $226 million, roughly 80% off what it had cost to build. The Stellantis Jeep joint venture went from 222,000 cars sold in 2017 to literally one car sold in May of 2022.
Jesus!
Next month, the venture went bankrupt. And then there's Russia. After Western brands pulled out post-invasion, Chinese brands, they took over. Chinese brand share of the Russian market went from 8% in 2022 to 62%.
Yeah, Hyundai's gotten shit too. Wasn't it Hyundai and Kia that was getting compromised?
2024. In 3 years.
It is summertime, which means RVs, camping, and summer storms. And there's...
Now, before we'll
skip that sponsor.
Distinction. China's growth story is largely about electric vehicles. This isn't a combustion engine.
Kia is easy to hack. So here's a funny thing. I, for the life of me, will never buy a Kia. And no, it has nothing to do with the reliability issues that I know of and the quality issues and all of that issues, all of that. No, it has to do with the fact that I know that in Hebrew, Kia means puke, which is why when I was in Israel, they have to call Kia Kaya. So I'm not going to be driving around a puke mobile, okay? Just so you know, also, in Israel, Hyundai is Hyundai, and Honda is Yanda. Because Israelis, for some reason, have an issue with the ha sound, even though it is there. They can do the ha, but they can't do the ha. I don't know.
Story. And that matters enormously for what...
Are you able to hack an electric car? Depends on what you're trying to do, but there have been hack-a-car CTFs at DEF CON every year. Last year we were hacking a Rivian.
Comes next. The speed of China's EV rise looks, from the outside, almost implausible. But it happened by design. And understanding how it happened is the most important part of this story. First, the government bet everything on electric. Around 2015, China's central government decided that...
Yeah, if it's a computer, it can be hacked.
Part of their Made in China 2025 plan. They subsidized manufacturers, built charging infrastructure at a scale no other country has matched, and created consumer incentives that made EVs the economical choice.
Here's the thing. As much as we can shit on China for many valid reasons, okay? This is one thing I have to say China has been really good at, that the American government and other governments should really take note of. Well, you know, they're subsidizing their entire infrastructure and people to move over to these things so that way they can actually use more made in China things, which I find absolutely hilarious, because that is exactly what a lot of, you know, the most conservative people in the MAGA side are. But then again, if we were to do these exact same things, let's just, for the sake of the argument, remove the fact that we have Elmo with Elon Musk and all of that, you know, being the way he is. If the government were to actually come in and do a very similar thing to what China did, and let's say they got behind, you know, Tesla along with Ford and the other American automotive companies to push electric vehicles, but only those that were produced domestically, more people would be willing to buy more American cars because you'd have a cost and an economic reason to do so. That's the reason why China is actually winning in many cases, because they're playing the long game in terms of not just what they're doing with the government, but economically. Whereas the United States government won't even do the bare minimum to keep people from going bankrupt when we have health issues. Mexico just passed universal health care. You know, like things like that. The United States is basically just, we cater to the absolute 1 to 2% most wealthy and power individuals, not just in the United States, but on the planet. And it's effing us in the A, and you can say what you will about China. I'm not going to deny that there's corruption in China, just like there's corruption in the United States and every, you know, government. Don't tell me that there isn't. But the fact of the matter is, you can at least look at what China's doing and see how they're advancing. And yeah, there are definitely people falling in the cracks of society, just like there is in America. But I'm not quite hearing people get sick and then lose everything to the levels that I hear about in the USA. Meanwhile, businesses can do everything to F over the average person. And what is it? Florida, I think, was it, that is actually doing, for the first time ever, actually suing a CEO directly, personally, for the responsibility of their company in terms of OpenAI and what they've, you know, done to impact society. I do believe in a corporate death penalty. I do believe if a company does something so egregious, government should have the right to go in and basically kill off whatever leadership is there, can hold them personally or whatever, blackball them from being in the position. And I know there is that to a certain extent, but that needs to be leveraged a little bit more. And then, in some cases, I think the United States government should have the ability to just completely wipe off, a business entity from existing entirely if they are so egregiously bad. But meanwhile, we bail out companies all the time because they're too big to fail. We're not really a free market economy if we don't believe that government, that big businesses can fail just as much as they can succeed.
And those incentives are not minor. In China, electric and gasoline cars wear different coloured license plates. Green for electric, blue for gas. And in the bigger cities, getting a blue gas car plate is intentionally painful. In Shanghai, for example, you can't just buy a gas car and register it. You have to win a monthly auction for the plate itself.
That was what I was talking about, where you kind of have to have like a lottery or something like that. But apparently that's because of the whole gas card thing.
And those plates can cost more than 90,000 yuan. That's about 12,500 US dollars.
Jesus!
In Beijing, the lottery for gas car plate is now one successful out of 333. In 2025, the city released 160,000 plates in total. 140,000 of them were reserved for electric vehicles. ICE buyers fought over the remaining 20,000. You buy a green NEV plate, it's free. There's no lottery, no auction, no purchase tax, no annual road tax. And the green plate lets you drive on restricted days and park in city centres where gas cars can't. When you add it...
You see, this actually is very clever, and what I mean by the United States is incentivizing the people in terms of behaviors to benefit themselves. Because we gave this, like, stupid little gas buying, like, electric car credit of, like, a few $1,000s, but, like, look at what they're doing. They're like, oh, you only can have this many cars. But then also, like, if you do go with an electric car, then it's, like, free for all this. You also can drive in the city. Like what New York just did with the congestion-based, you know, pricing and everything. But, yeah. Again, I know China's not a perfect country. Every country has their flaws, but this is one of those times where I'll look at another nation and be like, this is something where I think another nation actually is the right idea.
All up, a Chinese family in Shanghai buying electric BYD Seal versus an equivalent gas...
Fenneman says he knows that a shutdown an AI server is that possible to hack an AI server. It's a computer. If it's a computer and it's networked, yeah.
Dan,
you can do it through prompt injection and indirect prompt injection as well as other things. There's many ways to do it, but there's also like a whole business right now going around about how we can defend AI better. Like what was it? A few streams ago, we went through CrowdStrike's AIDR and we were talking about how we can secure against AI security issues. Have you ever used graphene? Yeah, I've used graphene. I have it on a Pixel 7a.
It's paying about $17,500 less on day one. The Chinese government didn't just subsidize EVs. They made it expensive and inconvenient to buy anything else. Secondly,
I think that's the right approach.
It's a speed Western companies still haven't matched. BYD doesn't buy batteries from a third party. They make their own. They developed their Blade battery in-house, a lithium iron phosphate design now considered one of the safest and most cost-efficient on Earth. When you control the most expensive component in the car, your cost structure looks completely different from everyone else's. BYD also makes its own chips.
There will be an upcoming global crisis in the cyber world any sooner.
Engineering
no.
Is staggering.
I think a lot of the, like, overwhelming crisis with AI and all that, it's a little bit overblown, especially when you understand the economics around these frontier models. One of my friends that's using, like, they were part of the project Glasswing was telling me it cost their company $32,000 a day to run Mythos.
BYD has roughly 110,000 R&D engineers. That is bigger than Tesla's entire global workforce. They file 32 patents every single working day.
Jesus!
And one Chinese company, CATL, makes 39% of every EV battery sold on Earth, and has done so for 9 years running. Tesla, BMW, Ford, Mercedes, VW, Toyota, and Stellantis all buy from them. Western EV is largely a fiction. The Berlin-built Tesla Model Y ships with a BYD battery. Ford's $3.5 billion battery plant in Marshall, Michigan runs on CATL licensed technology. And third, price. This is where it gets uncomfortable for Americans because the numbers are stark. The 5 best-selling Chinese-made EVs in 2025 average about $9,888. The average new car in the United States, $51,456.
This is what I mean by the only way the United States is able to compete against China is by stopping China from doing business at all in the United States. But again, that's a very short-sighted tactic because that only impacts the United States. Canada's now bringing in Chinese cars. So, guess what's going to happen? Post-Trump, when we get back to normalcy for a lot of things, those Canadians are going to be driving those Chinese cars into the United States. More Americans are going to have awareness of these Chinese cars. And there's gonna, it's gonna like, you're suddenly gonna start seeing more demand pick up for it, because right now, the people that are demanding these Chinese EVs are generally the technical people that are already in the space and are aware of these things. Where it starts hitting critical mass is when the average mainstream person no longer can make that connection of Chinese cars are crappy pieces of shit, because now Martha came over from Canada to visit us and came in her BYD Auto 3, and it was such a cute car and a great drive, and it was cheaper than a Tesla. Now I want this more than a Tesla. And then you're going to start seeing Americans slowly buy cars. They're going to figure out how to get it from Canada and then bring them in one way or another. And they're going to find loopholes around it. Like maybe they're going to have a friend buy the car and then they buy it off the friend. So it's not technically they bought a new car. They bought it. Who knows how the game's going to play. But the point being, yeah. The average American needs a car that's $10,000. The average American can't afford their car payments right now. I think the average American is around like $700 to $1,000 a month for a car payment. That's ridiculous. Even $15,000 for a car. That's more than enough. You can easily buy that, pay that off in 2 to 3 years. There's no reason why we get a lot of these cars, like even Yitz with his freaking Ford, what are the big fucking massive car he has. I was like, dude, this car is like bigger than what I have. You have no reason to get this car, and it has like all these bells and whistles features, and I'm like, you don't need half this shit.
The BYD Seagull, their entry-level EV, has now sold over 1 million units. Its price is around $10,000 US. China currently offers 130 EV models priced at under $40,000. The United States offers 4. And the
Jesus,
you might expect at that price point.
When the communist country seems to be more into a free market than the supposed free market country, we should be reevaluating things.
It's largely been settled. Every major Chinese EV launched in Europe, the BYD Seal, Atto 3, Dolphin, Neo ET5, Zeekr 001, MG4, has scored 5 stars on Euro NCAP. The Neo ET5 was the first car ever to pass Euro NCAP's stricter 2023 protocol at 5 stars. And fourth, brutal domestic competition. China's market is unforgiving. There's dozens of brands, including tech companies like Xiaomi and Huawei, who are competing for the same customers. That environment, which Chinese industry insiders call Neizhuan, a relentless cycle of price wars, overcapacity, and forced innovation, has produced companies that are exceptionally good at doing more for less. Xiaomi, the smartphone company, launched its first car in April 2024. Within 21 months, they delivered over 540,000 vehicles.
Jesus!
Their first model, the
I thought they'd been doing cars a little bit longer.
in 27 minutes. That kind of ramp is almost unimaginable in any other market. The tariff wall the United States has built isn't keeping Chinese automakers from getting better.
That was what I said earlier. The whole idea that tariffs somehow are going to be like this, when, you know, people were saying like Donald Trump is just going to tariff, you know, this and that. Anyone that thinks a tariff is a good thing or somehow makes you competitive is a fucking moron. Trump is a fucking moron. Because do you really think a tariff somehow puts a cost on China? No, that tariff puts a cost on your consumers to buy the product. So now you've actually put the burden on your citizens. And all a tariff does is impact your nation's ability to trade with said nation. It has nothing to do with the other hundreds of nations. Okay, so the United States made it more expensive to get EVs from China. Okay. They're still selling them in Europe. They're still selling them in Africa. They're still selling them in the rest of Asia. They're selling them to Russia. They're selling them to the rest of the world. Okay, so they don't have the United States market. In terms of the population size, we're still a very small chunk of the world. What, you have like 7 billion people? China alone has over 1 billion people, although we can argue that because of the one-child policy, that's going to actually be dwindling. There was something like so there was a interesting map. We were talking about this in terms of where was it? We were talking about this in one of the talks in terms of geopolitics and everything. And there's a population chart. I'm trying to find it. Hold on. Bracket China. Hold on. Population distribution. Yeah, I'm trying to find the distribution thing. There's a visual chart. This is not the one I wanted. But I guess this kind of can illustrate the point here. Hold on. Separate split view. So if we take... So the China's one-child policy, it's kind of interesting when people talk about the size of their market. It's actually had some lingering effects that they're actually saying, like... You see, it's kind of like... I gotta find a better graph to actually show the... so the one-child policy is repealed, but the problem is it takes more than a few years for the one-child policy to fix things, because you have to remember, the one-child policy was law for decades. So that is multiple generations that you have that ripple effect. It's gonna take at least, I think they said 2 or 3 generations to repair the damage of what the one-child policy did. Alright, let's go back to the video. I want to find that chart. Wait.
It's keeping American consumers...
Don't know why it wasn't starting the video.
But the rest of the world is seeing it very clearly. In Europe, Chinese cars captured 6.1% of the market
The hell?
in 2025, up from near zero just...
Hold on. Video went derpy for some reason. The hell? Oh, hold on. think it's Florp. Doesn't want me grabbing objects for some reason. Hold on. We'll clear the cache for that.
Ramp is almost unimaginable in any other market. The tariff wall the United States has built isn't keeping Chinese automakers from getting better. It's keeping American consumers from seeing it firsthand. But the rest of the world is seeing it very clearly. In Europe, Chinese cars captured 6.1% of the market in 2025, up from near zero just 3 years ago. In the UK, BYD registered over 51,000 vehicles. In Spain, BYD sales jumped from 3,800 in 2024 to nearly...
Yeah, I tried to be Canadian by using horses for DoorDash, called it Hoofdash.
In Germany, BYD outsold Tesla in January of 2026. Mexico is now the largest single export destination for Chinese vehicles. Australia, the Philippines, Brazil, and the Middle East are all posting strong growth. Canada is preparing to allow 49,000 Chinese cars in at a 6.1% tariff in early 2026, surrounding the United States with Chinese product. And here's the most surreal part of the whole story. Stellantis, the company that makes Jeep, Ram, Dodge, and Chrysler, paid 1.5 billion euros in 2023 for a 21% stake of a Chinese EV maker called Leap Motor. They now sell Chinese-built EVs in 9 European countries through their own dealer network. A Detroit equivalent automaker openly admitting it couldn't beat the Chinese, so it joined them, and the strategy is evolving. Chinese automakers learn from the tariff backlash. They're no longer purely an export economy.
Okay, so I found the chart I was talking about. This is we had a talk about the geopolitical state of things with what's going on in Iran and everything at a recent Hackers Teaching Hackers conference. So this was one of the things that was pointed out. It took me a while to remember what the site was, but these are the populations broken out. If you're on TikTok, sorry, you're not seeing the full screen here. But as you can see over here, it's broken down, and this is the prediction of the population chart. Do you see how they're predicting that's going to be going down? And that's not just this chart saying that. That's actually been a forecast by a lot of investors. And this is, in fact, due to the lingering effects of the one-child policy, along with other, movements going on, because around the world you have a bunch of millennials that are just like, I can't afford to have kids for various reasons. It's not just an American thing. It's happening in Japan. It's happening in China. It's kind of fascinating. But anyway, so this is the population, pyramid for China. So right now, it looks fine and dandy, but they're actually in the middle of declining to the point that they're predicting that, at one of these years, at some point, they will be losing the equivalent of a population of New York City or something like that every so often. Was the damage caused by the one policy more than the gain? Yes, absolutely. Because what do you need in order? Okay, so it takes 2 people to make a child. You have a mother and a father. Okay? Look, I'm bi. I'm not getting into this whole LGBTQ thing, all that. We're talking about just that's, you need those 2 to make a tango, okay? Now, that means, at minimum, in order to replace the same number of people that are passing away, that means that every couple should have at least 2 kids. 2 parents, 2 kids, 1-to-1 replacement. If you only have 1 child, you've effectively halved your replacement capability. So in order to have population growth, you have to have more than 2 children per family. That's just how it works. So, what's up, Xenix? But if you look at, like, the world population, we don't seem to have this problem. Let me see, do they have just... Of course, they don't just have it by world. If you look at the world, look at this. This is more of a healthy kind of chart that you want to see. You have, you know, plenty of, you know, infants over there growing up, and then it kind of like, you know, slowly just kind of like tapers up. That's kind of what you want to see. All right? China, world. China, world. Okay? And then let's just compare that to the United States. United States of America. Still a relatively healthy mix. So we're still complaining about, you know, we're not growing as fast, but you can still see the predicted growth pattern of a population is upwards. Whereas China, that's all damage from the one-child policy. Compare it to India. India. Yeah. So, India, they're seeing as it's going to be growing, but they see that possibly around the 2060s mark, you're going to start seeing a decline. That's the estimation right now for India. So, that's the thing we're talking about with China.
BYD is building factories in Hungary, Brazil, Turkey, and Thailand.
See, you said when you see the dead shit. No, because I got 4 different platforms.
The term industry analysts now use is glocalization. Build where you sell, hire local workers.
Glocalization?
And remove the tariff risk entirely. That model, local production, Chinese engineering, is exactly how Japanese automakers won America in the 1980s. Toyota, Honda, and Nissan didn't wait for the United States to open the door. They built factories in Ohio and Tennessee, hired American workers, and became American companies that happened to be designed in Japan. The Chinese are running the same play, just 40 years later.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that we're going to have this funny thing, just like I was complaining to some Americans when they were, I forget what that got us on the subject, but they were hating on somebody for having a Toyota car, and I pointed out, dude, that car is more American than your Ford. And I think that's going to be a thing we're going to be coming across in the next few years, where the Chinese are going to make their cars in the USA, and they're going to end up being made with more American parts than American cars. That'll be interesting.
The United States actually done about all of this? The answer under both administrations has been the same. Tariffs. In May of 2024, the Biden administration quadrupled tariffs on Chinese EVs from 25% to 100%. The Trump administration kept every one of them in place and added more. A ban on Chinese software in connected...
I don't know about the whole respecting privacy argument. There hasn't been enough security research into it, but I would say so because China does have privacy laws. I know, a lot of people are shocked by this. China has PIPL, which is their kind of equivalent to the European Union's GDPR. That's right. China has better data protection privacy laws than the United States. That's right. The so-called evil commie country cares more about the privacy of their people than American government.
Helping American consumers
kind of effed.
Afford electric vehicles.
Although the United States government did actually recognize and classify data brokers as a national security threat because they finally did realize what we've been saying for years, that an adversary could go and buy the records of military personnel without having to compromise systems and get a lot more insight into our military than they would need just by buying it.
On September 30th, 2025. The result is that the economics of buying an EV in America in 2026 have become hostile. At least 20 EV models have been discontinued or paused in the US market in 2025 and early 2026. The Tesla Model S and Model X, Honda's entire 0 series before it ever launched, the Volvo EX30, the BMW i...
Okay, I do want to make this point, though. He's trying to say, you know, the cars that have been discontinued or paused in 2025 and 2026, he says the Tesla Model S and Model X. I don't think it's fair to put those in the same category as Honda and Volvo and everything, because the reason why they're not selling is completely different than those other car companies. Tesla's sale issues started with Elon Musk and his descent into politics. It is a direct response to his political antics that a lot of people have begun boycotting him, not just in the USA, but around the world. And then there was also the whole garbage can, also known as the Cybertruck. So you can talk about the other things, you know, being paused or discontinued. That's fine. But the Tesla being paused and or discontinued is a completely different reason than the rest of them.
Entire 0 series before it ever launched, the Volvo EX30, the BMW i4 and iX, the Audi Q8.
Tesla's also very overpriced for what you get. Oh yeah, that I absolutely agree with. It constantly fails at being a vehicle that can handle the weather. Oh yeah, I've seen that firsthand, and I've had more near-death experiences in a Tesla than I have in any other car. And I have been in a Tesla probably... it's one of the cars I've been in the least amount out of everything.
e-tron, Cadillac's Celestiq, capped at just 25 units a year. And Ford's F-150 Lightning killed in December of 2025.
That pissed me off because I was actually considering picking up an F-150 Lightning. That really pissed me off.
Sales of the Subaru Solterra fell 98.8% in October of 2025.
A lot of the reason why these cars fail is because the companies behind them are not marketing them. They are purposely setting them up to fail because a lot of these companies want to just put the vehicle out so they can get the tax incentives or, you know, whatever. But yeah. How about electric Hummer? Look, if I wanted a Hummer, I would ask your sister.
Wasn't me. To BZ4X fell 95.6% because selling them profitably under the current tariff regime became impossible. And the Volvo EX30 is the perfect case study in the absurdity of layered protectionism. It was originally built in China, so it faced Biden's 100% Chinese EV tariff. Volvo invested 200 million euros to move production to Belgium. Then in March of 2025, Trump's blanket 25% tariff on imported vehicles hit Belgium too. A car that was supposed to start under $35,000 now costs $40,345 in the United States. Volvo confirmed it won't return to the American market after the 2026 model year. Meanwhile, in Europe, the same car was the third best-selling EV of 2024. Over 78,000 registrations, and it won EV of the year.
A lot of that has to do with the fact that the United States government, look at what's going on with the Trump administration. This isn't me necessarily being like, you know, I know there's some idiot that's going to go Trump derangement syndrome. The fact of the matter is, it feels like we have more of this Ministry of Truth type action from Harry Potter with the Donald Trump administration pushing propaganda for the things and the views that they believe rather than objective fact. Whereas in Europe, when I was there, I saw the governments were actively working to put out correct information. about EVs and all these other things. Whereas the United States government went around and still was shitting on EVs while at the same time Elon Musk was still one of the biggest benefactors. It was the weirdest thing. Like, Elon Musk got pissed off that Trump did this, and I'm like, dude, he's been shitting on EVs all this time. That should have been no surprise.
The rest of the world...
Because at the end of the day, a lot of the American politicians basically have to buddy up to the oil companies, and the oil companies are so fucking short-sighted that they only care about their profits for this year and next year, but don't understand that the outlook, if they don't change their ways in 5, 10, 15 years, means that you won't have any money, because fossil fuels are a finite resource, and there's a lot of other problems with them, and you do have to look more towards the electrification of the grid and improving our capabilities to do all that stuff. Yeah.
Still gets it. America doesn't.
It feels, the U.S. government feels like it's a baby pressing buttons. Oh, absolutely.
The industry supports 10 million jobs and generates 730 billion in annual wages. If Chinese EVs entered the American market at $10,000 to $12,000, the disruption to domestic manufacturing would be immediate and severe. But there is a counter-argument that's equally serious.
The counter-argument is that the average American would actually be able to afford cars and be able to actually contribute to society. Because do you know the number of people that I actually meet that are not able to go and get a job that they actually find meaningful or can improve their lives with is because they don't have meaningful transport? Do you know how many jobs in IT and cyber, just because you don't even have a car, won't even consider you? Because unfortunately, the United States public transit system is absolute bullshit. In the majority of American cities, you can't walk around, you can't even take a bus. Hell, in my own city, to get from here to somewhere in downtown, what would take me in a car 15 to 20, 30 minutes, maybe at most, would take me on a bus 2.5 to 3 hours to do the exact same thing. Meanwhile, when I lived over in Europe and I lived in the Middle East, the busing system and other public transit was so efficient, I could get from one end of the city to the other in minutes. I was able to even go between entire cities in 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 minutes. When I was in Germany, when I was in France, or other place. The United States, unfortunately, is not designed in a way to allow the poorest of society to have a leg up. We have handicapped them in every way, shape, or form. So yeah, you can talk about, oh yeah, it's going to ruin all these jobs and everything, but talk about all the other people right now. If we look at, like, for example, a lot of people don't know this. I lied about having a car during interviews. I bought one after the fact. Yeah, because if you have a job asking you, do you have reliable transit, and you say no, they're gonna nix you right on the spot, even though everything else is right, because, you know, it is what it is. And this is another thing, like, people don't understand when I'm talking about what I am in terms of how the lower classes are screwed. So when we talk about unemployment, we talk about unemployment in terms of the U3 index. But there is actually another thing called the U6 index. So the U3 index, the problem with it is it will actually consider anyone who is unemployed it will consider anyone who has been employed for as little as 1 hour. So you haven't even worked the full 40 hours or even 26, so it doesn't consider underemployment. Hold on. Trying to find... here we are. This is at least going to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So the official number for, like, unemployment, you see, like, how it hovers around here, but do you see the U6? The U6, in my opinion, is a more realistic trend, because that covers not just employment, but underemployment. That's people that are actually looking for better work than they currently have. So when you have that considered, it gives you a better idea in how the overall market is. Hold on. I'm trying to find... There used to be a better place to get the current chart. I'll have to find it.
Tariff walls don't breed innovation. They reduce the pressure to compete. Studies of previous US tariff regimes have found net job losses of 140,000 to 75,000 across industries, paired with high consumer prices.
Yep.
And Chinese automakers are getting better, whether or not they're in the US market. The tariffs delay the confrontation. They don't change the underlying dynamics.
It's all about collaboration.
Yep.
That's the only way out of this. You can, unless the big three are going to start innovating in a huge way in the US, which doesn't look likely. Maybe Ford has got a bit of a better strategy. They've got their new Skunk Works. They've got new cars, electric cars in development. Unless they really start working together more with the Chinese, you're not going to be successful.
Nope.
There's only one way out, and you have to collaborate. Like pushing and fighting back against it just won't work. Tariffs don't work. Blocking technology doesn't work. It's just a stopgap.
There's a historical parallel worth sitting with. When Japanese automakers entered the United States in the 1980s, critics warned of a catastrophe for American workers. What actually happened? Toyota and Honda brought manufacturing techniques that ultimately made US industry more competitive.
Yep.
Workers kept their jobs. American companies built better cars. Consumers got more choice at better prices. But there's a crucial asymmetry between then and now. Japan was welcomed in if they bought jobs. They built 24 plants on US soil, invested $66.4 billion, and today support 2.34 million American jobs. China's being kept out entirely. BYD shelved its Mexico factory in July of 2025 under tariff uncertainty. As of today, there's not a single Chinese-owned auto plant in the United States. The question for the United States right now is whether protectionism is buying time for American automakers to catch up, or whether it's just buying time. Let's be direct about what the...
It's just buying time. There's a lot of things that the United States automakers are not willing to do to properly compete and innovate. We've seen this for decades.
The current situation means if you're...
They couldn't even innovate properly against European cars.
More than you need to. The average new car in the United States costs $51,456. The average Chinese EV costs a fraction of that. Those products do not exist in your market by policy design. You're being insulated from a competition that, in all likelihood, would drive prices down. And whilst that policy protects American manufacturing jobs, which is a legitimate goal, it also means the EV transition in America is stalling. The US EV market has been flat or shrinking for over 20 consecutive months.
A lot of that, honestly, I think has to do with the fact that Tesla is the largest brand in the United States that people see with electric cars. The traditional automakers haven't really been that keen on promoting electric vehicles because the dealers also see them as a net loss because most of the money is made through services, and electric cars traditionally, usually don't need that much service like a conventional car does. So I think the 20 consecutive months is tied into the fact that, well, look at what's happened the past 20 months. Elon Musk did his bullshit, created a lot of enemies, and unfortunately, the largest EV company in America is not selling cars, which means people look at alternatives, and there's not much other EV cars because we don't have the Chinese EVs, which, as this creator said, are the dominant cars in the world in terms of sales numbers. Do you see the problem?
Meanwhile, China crossed the 50% EV penetration threshold in mid-2024. Australia, with roughly the same EV starting point as the United States, grew EV sales by 38%. In the same period, the US flatlined. And here's the practical consequence. The rest of the world is accelerating into an electric future with affordable options. American consumers are navigating a shrinking selection of increasingly expensive vehicles, many of which are disappearing from the market entirely as manufacturers pull back. Ford's CEO calls Chinese competition an existential threat. Ford killed the F-150 Lightning. GM took a $5 billion write-down on China and dropped its Ultium brand. Stellantis posted a $26 billion loss in 2025, its first annual loss in history. And there are signs that even the industry knows it. Ford's CEO, the man who builds Mustangs and F-150s, is publicly asking the United States to allow Chinese EV technology into the country, because he believes competing against it rather than hiding from it is the only path forward.
You see, the CEO of Ford sees exactly what I was saying. That in order for us to compete, we have to have our eyes wide open as to what's available in the market. The problem is American auto manufacturers are too laissez-faire because they just look at the American market and say the Chinese are not a threat to us because the United States government is keeping them from coming into the market, so we have no need to innovate. So, like, think about it this way. It's kind of like Cuba. You know, Cuba is famous for, like, having all these classic retro cars. They're wonderful. They're amazing. I get it. They're, you know, nice 1950s, 60s. Now, why is that? Because the government effectively ruined the ability for them to have competition in terms of auto markets. I mean, it's an apples and oranges argument, but it's the same thing. So now Cubans, a lot of Cubans, may not necessarily be aware of the cars that are out there in the modern world, per se. I'm sure they're aware of, you know, quite a few cars out there, but you get my point.
BYD has filed legal challenges against the tariffs in the US Court of International Trade. Canada has already cracked the door open, allowing 49,000 Chinese EVs at a 6.1% tariff in early 2026. The wall is holding.
6.1% isn't that bad.
The building behind it is considerable. The trajectory, if you follow the data, is fairly clear. Chinese automakers will keep getting stronger in every market except the United States. They'll build local factories in Europe, Brazil, and Southeast Asia. They'll negotiate tariff exemptions, hire local workers, and strip away the arguments against them one by one. The 100% US tariff war will remain politically popular. Defending American auto workers is...
It's not really politically popular. It's popular politically amongst MAGA, but the majority of us are not okay with these tariffs. And in fact, I've seen a lot of the MAGA people actually wake up to realize the tariffs actually were on them, because there were quite a few that actually ended up getting slapped with tariffs that they had to pay for products they bought from China or whatever. And it was funny when I said, buddy, what the fuck do you think a tariff is?
It's not a controversial position, but its effectiveness will erode as Chinese companies route production through third countries and build out North American supply chains. Speaking at the Detroit Economic Club in January 2026, the president said, let China come in, let Japan come in. They are, and they'll be building plants, but they're using our labor. Goldman Sachs predicts BYD's overseas sales will hit 1.5 million vehicles in 2026, exceeding even BYD's own internal targets. The global expansion will not slow down. For US automakers, the path is clear, even if it is uncomfortable. They need to close the technology and cost gap, not rely on the tariff wall indefinitely. GM and Ford have both scaled back their near-term EV targets, and that's a strategic risk.
And I've always said, like, if you insist on buying a car from your favorite company and you won't buy electric, you're only going to buy gas, you're kind of putting the nail in the coffin, because the signal is keep making gas cars.
Yes.
And now, in 5 years, it might not even be an option. It'll be just be too late. There'll be millions of BYD cars, or that are available, and your industry is just going to be toast.
Completely.
The companies that were slowest to respond to the Japanese challenges in the 70s and 80s, AMC, Chrysler, the old GM, paid the heaviest price. AMC was absorbed into Chrysler. Chrysler took 2 federal bailouts. The old GM went bankrupt. UAW membership fell from 1.5 million in 1979 to under 380,000.
Yep.
That's a 77% drop. For US consumers, the honest forecast is a period of fewer choices and higher prices in the short term, with a longer term outcome that depends heavily on whether American automakers use this window to genuinely compete or simply just wait. For Chinese automakers, the picture is straightforward. They've already won globally in ways that are difficult to reverse. Whether they win in America depends on geopolitics as much as engineering. Is this a story about China winning or America losing? Well, neither. It's a story about what happens when one country decides to go all in on the technology that will define 50 years of transportation and gets a 10-year head start. The Chinese auto industry didn't get here by accident. It didn't get here by cheating.
Yep.
It didn't get here only because of government subsidies.
Yep.
It got here because of scale, speed, competition, and a willingness to vertically integrate and cut costs in ways that Western companies didn't move fast enough to match. The United States has real cards to play: engineering talent, capital markets, domestic demand, and an industrial base that still produces some of the most capable vehicles in the world. But playing those cards effectively requires an honest accounting of where the gap is and how fast it's growing. Tariffs can buy time. They cannot, on their own, close a technological lead.
No, they cannot.
The companies that build the best, most affordable electric vehicles will eventually find their way into every market that wants them. This one. The question is whether American automakers use the time they've bought to genuinely compete.
Thank you so much, Elliot, for putting this together. I think we all need to stop pretending tariffs are a strategy. They're a stall. If you want more analysis,
they've never been a strategy.
Subscribe button and let us know in the comments below, what do you think? How impactful is the future where EVs are made largely by China is going to impact the rest of us all? Sound off in the comments below. And if you want to see more awesome content from Chinese stories.
Okay. That's a good little video. But yeah, it's getting a little late here. Had a great night with y'all, so we did finish up Pragmata, so that was fun. We'll figure out what we're doing on gaming on Linux next weekend. But yeah, thank you for joining me. If you haven't already, make sure to follow me on all of my socials. My links are in the bio. I will be back on tomorrow evening to hang out for a bunch of the content that we still have to review and go through. So thank you all for joining me. If you haven't already, join the Discord. The links are in bio for Discord, the Matrix, the Blue Sky, the Mastodon, the YouTube, and all of those different things. I stream on Twitch everywhere, all that. Yeah. Join the Discord. Join the Matrix server. We have a great community. I've already been talking about some of the DEF CON prep that's going to be happening. We've been talking about the badges that have been getting announced for DEF CON, the unofficial badges and all that. So make sure to check out the hashtag conferences, I think it is, channel. There's a new channel there. And then I will be working on some YouTube videos to talk about DEF CON prep and a bunch of other things. I've been going through a backlog. I have a bunch of scripts. I just got to record them, all of that. And then I will also be working on recording my talk that I did at ISSA last week for all of you so that you don't miss it all. It's a great talk about home labbing, how it builds better defenders. It is geared a little bit more towards like managers, executives, and all that, because I'm kind of just putting the onus on them as to why there's a cybersecurity shortage. It's really because of the leaders, not because of people out in the field. But anyway, thank you all for joining. Love you all. Stay safe. Happy hacking. Stick around for the raid if you're over on Twitch. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow.